Hey everyone, welcome to 996 The Howl for the uninitiated. This is an unedited YouTube vlog discussing everything Arizona Coyotes right here. You can see that. And another doozy, another big one while I'm on vacation. Pretty much exactly a year ago, John Chayka makes a trade, Domi for Galchenyuk, and I'm on vacation and I just have to live with that new life. And again, this year, John Chayka trades Galchenyuk and Joseph for Phil Kessel, a player who I thought the Coyotes wouldn't have gotten. I thought he was, exiting out of his prime. He needs to play with pretty good centers, I would say, in my opinion. And he was on a pretty elite power play that pumped up his numbers, playing with Crosby and Malkin and Letang. And Pittsburgh had an amazing power play lineup. But it happened. We have to talk about it. Not too happy with the addition of Joseph in the deal. I would have been happy with the 1-for-1. Still skeptical, but adding in Joseph, I just don't like selling short on a player so soon. I mean, the Coyotes just drafted him 2 years ago in Chicago. Supposed to be a long-term project. Chayka warned us, long-term project. Probably won't see him on the team for 2 to 3 years. Well, now it's about the third year mark we're entering. And there hasn't been much development talks with Joseph. Apparently, he's been living with a team nutritionist to get his weight up, to get more bulky as an NHL defenseman. He's 160 pounds, and he's like, I don't know his height. He's really tall. He's probably 6'5". Yep, I'd say 6'5". For reference, I'm 160 pounds, so I mean, if I get hit into the boards, I'm in the hospital. So obviously that's not good for an NHL D-man like that, especially in the Western Conference, which a lot of teams like to hit the body. But that's my gripe with it. We don't know the potential of Joseph. When John Chayka drafted him, we're supposed to, take in what he said as truth. We're supposed to think our GM makes good decisions and good picks, and I thought Joseph was going to be a good pick. He'd come around onto the team pretty much when Chychrun was solidified on the group and OEL was captain and in the middle of his contract, and he'd slot in on the third pairing left side. I thought that was good to have OEL, Chychrun, and Joseph on the left-hand side, and then when the Coyotes drafted Soderstrom, that'd beef up the right side of the defensive pairings. But apparently not. The development camp has been going on this past week, so maybe John Chayka saw during this week that Joseph wasn't developing on time and not up to what John Chayka hoped he would have developed into, and decided to sell him. I can tell you right now that Joseph won't have a problem cracking the Pittsburgh lineup. They don't have much of a logjam at the defensive position like the Coyotes do. Coyotes got a couple prospects, knocking on the door. Capobianco, they got this guy called Ball, and now Soderstrom. So maybe, it was Joseph's time. But that's one of the blemishes on the trade, is selling a guy so short already. And it just, it puts a blemish on John Chayka's drafting. We're supposed to think this guy makes good picks for the team, and then trades them away 2 seasons later because it turned out to be a bad pick. But I mean, it's not like we gave him up for nothing. We're getting Phil Kessel. A guy who could score 80 points, a guy who could pot in 30 goals easy, a guy who has so much speed, a guy who's going to exit his prime in a year or two. This might be his last season in his prime. He's 32 years old. Carries a pretty big cap hit, $6.8 million. The Coyotes are up to the cap now. They got $2 million of free cap space, and then they'll put Hossa on long-term injured reserve and get another $5 million off that. They only have to re-sign Krause, so I mean that's enough money. Krause isn't getting more than $3 million, I would say. So it's good enough to sign Krause and then have some wiggle room for a trade deadline acquisition if that's what happens. But after this year, we lose Carl Soderberg, who carries a $4.5 million cap hit. I thought Soderberg would have been it. I thought that was a high enough cap hit for John Chayka to be like, all right, that's it for now. But he goes and acquires a $6.5 million player. I mean, that's crazy. I guess the new owner that the Coyotes have, gave the green light to Chayka to make it happen, and John Chayka made it happen. For Galchenyuk, yeah, he was one of the top leading scorers on the team, but like everyone else on the team, he was pretty inconsistent in his goal scoring. It came in spurts. One of the best one-timers I've seen on the Coyotes team. I didn't grow too attached to him. I was pretty hard on him. In many of my videos, I said we need Galchenyuk to carry this team and be more consistent. So we won't see that happening since he got traded. But I don't know. It seems like Chayka's shuffling the deck. He goes out and trades Domi for Galchenyuk, hoping to get a 30-goal scorer winger or centerman. And then he doesn't work out at the center position, moves him to the wing, and then he doesn't work out on the wing. And then he trades him for another scoring winger. It seems weird. It seems like, you're kind of getting a new toy. You're not liking the new toy. And then you go out and get another new toy and hoping that one works. So that's where my reasoning is that I'm not too optimistic on this trade as compared to some other people. There hasn't been enough good fortune for this team in acquiring new talent. I mean, Schmaltz was one of the few guys who came in and started to produce immediately and mesh well with Keller, but then he gets a knee injury and he's out for the whole season. So, I mean, to say Kessel is going to come onto this team, score 30 goals, and get 75 points on a Coyotes team, I'm skeptical about that. I'm sure you guys are skeptical too. I don't think he could do it. I'd love to be proven wrong though. But it'll be tough. I don't even know who he's going to play with. Is it going to be Schmaltz, Keller, and Kessel? That would be explosive. That would be crazy. But I don't think so. It's been a while since I watched Kessel. I watched him a lot on the Leafs, and he likes to carry the puck on the wing and just drive that wing on the boards and go for a nice wrist shot or, pass it around. But I feel like Keller loves to enter the zone with puck possession like a Patrick Kane. So I don't know how that's going to mesh. Could Kessel play with Derek Stepan? Maybe. Maybe Stepan, Kessel, and Hinostroza, or maybe Dvorak, Kessel, and Hinostroza, or maybe it's Kessel and Grabner together. That might be crazy. A lot of combinations that Rick Tocchet will have to make decisions about, and it's Rick Tocchet who apparently Kessel really loved as a coach. Got him out of a few ruts when Kessel first got to Pittsburgh, and Rick Tocchet was there to develop him and get him producing once again. So we'll see. Maybe Rick Tocchet can do it again for the Coyotes. And yeah, the power play with Kessel on it, that's going to be a new look, a new makeover on the power play. But yeah, a lot to take in, a lot of factors with this trade. You can say it's pretty much Domi and Joseph for Phil Kessel. I mean, that looks better. I don't know why I'm so hung up on Galchenyuk. I know he had one more year. Maybe Chayka talked with him and his agent, and Galchenyuk was like, you know what? I'm kind of skeptical on signing a long-term contract here. He did a video with Biz Nasty, Paul Bissonnette, and where they toured his mansion in Arizona. It looked pretty good. But now he has to sell it, I guess, or keep it as a summer home. But we'll see. If Kessel could produce at even 80% of his career numbers, I mean, that's gold. I just have to get used to the fact that Phil Kessel's an Arizona Coyote, and he could do it. If he could produce, man, unreal. That takes off the load off everyone. If Kessel just scores so much and produces, and then you got Schmaltz and Keller. Then on the depth side, you got Kraus, Hinostroza, Dvorak, still growing, still prospering, still trying to find their legs in the league. It takes a bit off some pressure, takes pressure off them. So I like that side of it. So we'll see. It's a big trade. I love Chayka for making these huge trades. Gets me something to talk about. Not many GMs make trades like this. they kind of sit on their hands and make 1 or 2 trades in their whole tenure. But John Chayka makes trades, man. It's crazy how big and impactful these trades are. And he's just trying to find something that sticks. So we got Kessel for 3 more years as opposed to 1 more year of Alex Galchenyuk. We'll see what happens. See what happens. You know, I gotta sleep on this a bit more. I thought having 1 night's sleep would help me, but you know, maybe a few more nights, maybe reading some comments here and there. A lot of people don't even know who Joseph is, and I thought he was going to be a good stud D-man, you know, but not anymore, for the Coyotes at least. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Another big trade. Man, huge. I feel sorry for anyone who got a Galchenyuk jersey. I was actually thinking about getting one. Like 10% of me wanted to get one, but I ended up not getting one. But just for, you know, some tips, maybe only get jerseys of guys who have signed more than a 5-year contract. So I would get a Schmaltz OEL jersey, or just get a blank jersey. I think that's my next one. Maybe a blank one. Or maybe OEL. I'll probably get an OEL jersey. I think that's a safe bet. So yeah, thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.